What's going on, guys, in the works media, and welcome to some sniping. And you don't see me do a whole lot of sniping, but when I do it on Interchange, because Interchange and Village seem to be the only two maps I enjoy sniping on. And I actually did this during the live stream. I was trying to get a Moab sniping during the live stream because I told people that's the one thing I haven't gotten. I've gotten one with the Striker, I've gotten one with the Type 95, which is easy mode. I've gotten one with the ACR. And I've gotten one with the MP7. So the only thing missing is in my resume is a Moab with a sniper rifle. And I was like, I'm gonna do this during the live stream. Well, I got really close on lockdown. I got 22 kills, and I got killed by a dude with juice, which is I deserved to die at that point. I mean, I was camping pretty hard. I'm wearing the cone of shame right now. I was camping. But it seems like you have to camp to get a Moab. I mean, I don't know. Especially with a sniper rifle. Because I'm no LEET Quickscoper. When I snipe, I usually drag scope. As this gameplay will be pretty evident of that. But yeah, what's going on in the Call of Duty world? Well, we got a spawn patch. Kind of. Sorta. And I used this game, actually, because it was interesting. Because the spawn patch is not really what it's cracked up to be. I've noticed that, I did notice a kind of a difference on Kill Confirmed. I'm not going to lie about that. Kill Confirmed, it seemed like the spawns were a little bit better. I didn't have people spawning on top of the tags that I just killed them on. I mean, it's just, it's funny. I've seen a kill cam where I killed a guy. He respawned on top of his body, collected his tags, killed me, and then I respawned right behind him and collected my tags. It was like we were playing racquetball or something. So Kill Confirmed had some really bad spawns, and this is going to be some really bad shooting right there. But TDM, I haven't tested it though, but I've heard the TDM spawns are way better. I've heard free-for-all spawns are a tad bit better as well. But you can't fix free-for-all spawns. The free-for-all spawns were broken in Black Ops, and I think Black Ops had one of the best spawn systems in Call of Duty history. But I think a lot of people tend to forget how bad the spawns were in Modern Warfare 2, how bad the spawns were in COD 4. Yes, they weren't this bad, but also I think that Infinity Ward purposely made us spawn at different points. And when I say purposely, let me explain something. Okay, so in past Call of Duties, whenever you controlled the B and C flag, you would always spawn, on C, and the enemy would spawn on A. Excuse me, unless someone was in the spawn. There was a kill streak in the spawn, like a sentry gun, something that would flip the spawns. So you're like, okay, common logic would be that in this game, the same thing would be held, would be true. That way it would make it more competitive. Instead, what we've gotten in this game is it seems like, okay, we control B, C right now. Instead of us spawning on C, we will spawn the closest spawn on B to A, and that is in the back right corner, back there by that little house and stuff. And you will spawn there over and over and over and over. And it just makes no sense that they would do that. And I think the reason why they did that was to make games more competitive. Because there's one thing I've noticed, in this clip right here is absolute donkey poo. I do not understand how this guy killed me. This is actually a guy who joined session from the stream, so congratulations, man. But he killed Air right there, and I was pretty mad about that. But I actually don't get that mad at video games. Contrary to how I may sound during the live streams, I'm not actually mad. I'm just disappointed. But what were we talking? Oh, I think that Infinity Ward did that to make games more competitive and this is the only Call of Duty I've ever had struggles winning consistently against bad teams, and I mean bad. I've had games go down to the wire against a team that had no one that was even close to going positive on the team, and I'm just like scratching my head. I'm like, why is that? Well, there's a lot of factors I think go into that. I think that this game plays a lot better in TDM. I think this game was designed for just killing. I don't think it plays well in the objective game types because the spawns can't seem to handle it. As you see me get ready to send a text message right here. But the spawns just can't seem to handle it. It seems like killing, they've got that down. You can kill in Modern Warfare 3 just fine. But objective and spawns, they just don't really work that high. So, I think that I really think that they tried to make it more competitive for bad players by giving them more beneficial spawns. And that may sound like I'm some sort of huge conspiracy theorist, but that's not what I'm trying to go for, guys. I understand that logic, actually. I think that it's interesting to think that they would think that spawning them in the back and changing the dynamic of domination was the way they needed to go to kind of curb kill streak whoring or kill whoring, whatever you want to call it. So now, like, let's say a team is just getting absolutely stomped. Instead of having to spawn back in the very, very back of A over and over and over, they spawn them closer to the objective, and that way there's more going on the B flag. That way the B flag is more competitive. And I've noticed that with this new spawn patch, they've actually made the spawns even crazier. And hear me out on this. If you've been paying attention throughout this video, you've noticed that we've had BC the entire game. Okay, but you've also noticed that we've lost C probably, as you hear another text message come. You've noticed that we've lost C probably 5 or 6 times during this video. I've cut some parts out, so you may not see them all, but we've lost C quite a few times. And you're probably like, well, you're dominating this team, but the score is really close. I mean, at any point in this video, do you feel like I'm getting destroyed? No. But yet they're getting these. They've got like 3 stealth bombers. They're going to get an EMP at some point. In the game, we're only up by 24 points, and you're like, wow, you know. But we keep losing Z, and you know we're spawn trapping them. Which, you know, if you don't like spawn trapping, don't play domination. That's just the nature of the beast. But we're spawn trapping them. I noticed that they're not getting out of the spawn. You know, I don't know how they're getting the C. You know, the whole game we're sitting here talking like. How are these guys getting the C? I don't understand how they keep getting back there. Well, it turns out they were spawning back there, and you know, I went back and I watched this in theater mode because I was really just that curious what was going on. And I look in theater mode and I notice they're spawning on C, and I'm like, okay. So I look for tactical insertions. I don't see a single tactical insertion. I'm like, all right. So what are the factors I see here in this game that's making them spawn on C? Well, I look at the imaginary line. I draw an imaginary line across the map and I zoom out. There's no one in the spawn, so there's no one in our spawn pushed forward, and there's no one within the spawn, or there's no kill streaks in the spawn like a sentry gun. There's no kill streaks in the air that might, you know, consider the A spawn a negative spawn, and the game choose to spawn them on C instead. And the kill streaks are a very low negative influence on the spawn, if that makes any sense. So, like, someone being in the spawn is a high influence, whereas a kill streak is a low influence depending on the kill streak. Like a Pavlo or something like that isn't going to flip the spawns, at least in past Call of Duties. I don't know how it works in this. I wish that I was you know, a better computer programmer. I could go in and see what the negative influences on the spawn logic was, what actually would flip the spawns. But in the past, kill streaks have never really flipped spawns, as you know, that you've seen like your 6-man AC-130s in Ground War. That's why, because you know the AC-130 isn't going to flip the spawn. But I found that with this new spawn patch, it seems like the game always flips the spawns on its own, and it's just so weird. I just, you know, hopefully they keep tweaking it. Hopefully they make it so that it's perfect, I guess you could say. But as it stands right now, domination is kind of crazy. I mean, I guess it pushes the action and makes it more fun, but for the most part, the spawns seem really, really finicky. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this bit of sniping and some spawn logic discussion. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.
So your parents think about DUI, Hammer?
They're like, oh, well.